you filed several defamation lawsuits against Twitter, Liz Mair, and then two particular Twitter accounts, Devin Nunes' mom and Devin Nunes' cow, one of which was suspended. What was your reasoning behind doing that? Like, what message were you trying to send when you did that?
What we're defamation and slander and libel is not legal in this country. Mm-hmm. And I have no way to get these stories that were planted by these either by these operatives and then spread by these accounts, spread by other news organizations, spread by Fusion GPS. I can't get those off the internet because they refuse to retract those stories. So that's what this is about, is that I have been defamed and slandered in really nasty ways that have to be removed, or else if you, like you said, I think when you started out this conversation, you said, well, if nobody's really heard of this, explain it from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Well, the same thing is true if no one has ever heard of me and they go and look up my name. You're going to find story after story after story of not just fake news, but slander and libel.
Have you thought about expanding
that? Which is illegal in this country. And so what I'm trying to do is get those stories taken down, mm-hmm. right? And as it relates to Twitter, we're suing them. They're negligent. They knew this was happening on their platform, and they enforced the rules selectively. So, it's all fun and games to have, there's hundreds and hundreds of accounts out there that slander me now on a daily basis, mm-hmm. that Twitter knows about. When accounts pop up that I don't even consider to be slander, in many cases were just parody. The best example of that would be one that kind of got some growth early on, which was called AOC Press. Mm-hmm. I can't.
Yeah, as a parody account, yeah.
And that was just that was actually just a funny account. There was no slander. There was no defamation that was occurring on that. I'm fine with that. That's not what these are. Mm-hmm. That's not what these accounts are. They're there to continue the slander on me. And so that's one of the lawsuits involving Twitter and a few others. Then McClatchy, which is one of the largest newspaper companies in the country, they slander and libel me virtually every day, and they refuse to retract their stories. Obviously, we've spoke about Fusion GPS, which I believe is a racketeering outfit. Mm-hmm. They've destroyed a lot of innocent U.S. citizens and others. So we're looking at them. And then you have the mother of all the fake news, which is CNN, which, after the Republicans in the House, even with no witnesses, our ability to call no witnesses, we destroyed their witnesses by all practical measurement. The House Republicans on the Intelligence Committee destroyed the Democrats' witnesses. Right when that got finished, they slandered me immediately when we finished that round of hearings before we left for Thanksgiving. That was a planned and calculated attack on me to go after my credibility and therefore the Republican Party's credibility, all part of the narrative building that these assassins prostitute themselves in the media to do.
So you consider
so it's not. So I don't find it. It's not funny. Mm-hmm. It's wrong that you would say that anybody would say that I was taking a trip to Vienna to meet with people that I shouldn't have been meeting with. Okay, it's just wrong, and they used a sole source attorney, if you believe them. We won't know until we get through discovery, because I don't believe that's true, of someone who was working with the Democrats. They knew was not trustworthy. They wanted this guy to go out and slander me. And that's a guy that was trying to get immunity from the Congress.
Are you considering
spinning up conspiracy theories with the Department of Justice? So I have this suit against CNN that I filed. I told them it was false, and I filed it, right after we had returned. And I said, look, if you're not going to bring it down, then I got to go to federal court. So now we're in federal court, trying to get that story removed from the internet.